back here at this sign. This is the Mesa Main Street, the historical sign that I thought was probably fake. I love history, and with all the things that are going on right now, I need a good distraction. So I had read online that there were at least 4 more of these signs down Main Street. Now, that is heading towards Superstition Mountains as east, so because that is not Mesa for that much longer, we run into a patch junction. What I'm going to do, and if it turns out that you can count this as, I'm going to take one for the team. It's kind of an act of self-flagellation, which I think is important for Good Friday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head west down Main Street to try to find the other 4. So I'll get some, and it's Friday night, so it might take an hour to go all the way down just westbound Main Street, looking for these signs, and then I'm going to come back because they may also be on the other side. I will find out. So if you got nothing else better to do, and if you have an interest in history, and there's not much I have found historically about Mesa, then join me for this short journey. Yeah, I did a video on this. I'm just a few miles down the street. That's the Buckhorn Motel, the Buckhorn Bass and Motel. So if you haven't seen that, and you probably haven't seen that, then go back and check that out. A lot of cool history there. I still have to get the full video posted of that, but being that Main Street, the 4, this is what we're looking for, the 4 US routes, 60, 70, 80, and 89 all ran down here. That explains why there's an insane amount of hotels. This was the main street going through Mesa. So of course there you got the Buckhorn there. We got I think that's an old gas station right there, but there's a ton of motels and hotels down all the way down Main Street. You still have hotels and whatnot down the other streets, but not like Main Street. Not like Main Street. That's I've lived down here 30 years. That was never open. So we've got that there, the Windmere, and just up ahead we'll see the motel that I did the video on with the diving lady. The Traveling, and we've got the Colonnade Motel, and Weston Air. Most of this is really old. This was old when I moved out here in '93. So yeah. All right, we're actually at the Lindsay and Main intersection now, and now you can see that's the Starlight Motel with the diving woman. That looks spectacular. So if you missed that video, and you probably did, check it out. It looks great at night. Otherwise, it's really... Oh, there's another one. Oh, I just found another one of those signs, so I'm going to turn around and get a better view of that. So I'm glad that I had the camera on there. So let me turn around and we'll get that. So they're all... Okay, so there's at least 2... Okay, so now I know that there's at least 2 of those signs down Main Street. There's probably, there's only a few miles apart, so there's probably more than 5, but we will find out. All right, there is number 2. That is the second one, and I gotta say, it doesn't say much for how aware I am of my surroundings, because I actually stood right here and took video of that sign during the day and at night. So we do have the second one. It is on Main Street in Lynn Ray Drive. That's 2 down. Very cool. All right, that's cool. Already found a second one. Now we are going over Gilbert Road. This is the eastern terminus of the light rail. So if you want to take an extra hour and a half to get to Phoenix and avoid all this traffic, you can take the light rail. I haven't had any occasion to take the light rail, and I'm not interested in necessarily doing that. I don't miss that from Long Island. Well, we used to train. But there's a little bit more historical buildings here. I don't want to show too, I don't need to show too much. This Mesa is not what you call an exciting place. It's a nicer day today because it's only 77 degrees right now. Didn't get into the 90s. It was beautiful, but it's going to end soon. All right, I found a third one, and they're coming up pretty quick. I guess they're not as rare as it's made out, so I'm starting to think that there's probably more than 5 here, and this is where we're starting to get into downtown Mesa, so we're gonna have some historic buildings here. The Mormon temple there, of course, built in the mid-1920s, but yeah, original route, Main Street, Mesa. Very cool. All right, getting into some of the historic parts of downtown. There's Pioneer Park, downtown Mesa. So they have the Easter pageant going on right now. That's done every year. Trying to revitalize the downtown. They look older, but yeah, those are fairly new. They're only a few years old. This whole section here is only a few years old. All right, passing over Mesa Drive. That other sign was at Hobson. I've lived here so long that I've lived that 2 times the city of Mesa has worked to revitalize the downtown area. So I moved out here in '93. So, but that bank is that's pretty old. That's the municipal building. That's new. Still, nah, I hardly ever come down here. Passing over Center. I mean, it does have a kind of an older feel to it. It is pretty nice. It's clean. Well, it's not very long. There's more historical buildings down that way. Surprised we haven't stopped at more lights. Yeah, we're away from the downtown now. Extension and Main Street, and I believe that may be one of the oldest buildings in Mesa. So I'm not entirely sure because they change the color so often. I thought it was red. I don't get over here. This car's got to get out of the way. Yeah, so I believe the last time that may have been red, but I think it's one of the oldest structures in Mesa. So, and this is just an old section. We're going to see a lot of this. You generally just want to get through this part as fast as you can, but it doesn't always work out that way. The amount of lights, and it's unusual that there's not more traffic. I really thought that there was going to be a lot more traffic, and so if you're getting the impression that Mesa is not crowded because of this is extremely unusual. And it's Friday, so I don't get it. We're here at Beverly. All right, I just crossed over Dobson, so I should have been crossing into Tempe now, so the Mesa Main Street signs are obviously not going to be there, but it got me thinking maybe since the roads did, like US 80 did go to the Tempe town, the bridge, and cross over the bridge that way, maybe they've got some historic Tempe Main Streets. So I'll go down a little bit and see what we've got. This is the second one. I didn't point it out before. I always get a kick out of that. Dr. P's Dentist. All right, well, let's avoid that. All right, I think we're actually on the ASU campus now, and even for a Friday, it's very unusual that the traffic, it's a little unnerving that the traffic is so light. You still have an insane amount of lights, but wow. Usually the only thing worse than traffic through Mesa, Arizona is through the ASU campus here on Main Street or University or whatnot. But the US 80 would have went one more Main Street going, it goes down to Mill Avenue. And I haven't seen any historic signs, so I'm gonna go all the way to where the US 80 would have turned right and gone north and gone down and over the Mill Street Avenue Bridge, which is really spectacular looking. But I will do that in another video. I'm gonna have to get to the other side and go westbound. No, I'm going westbound now. I'm gonna have to go on the other side. I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna go eastbound and see. There should be, since I saw 3 so far, and there's supposed to be 5, I will go eastbound and see if I can find the other 2. Maybe there's even more. All right, this is Dobson. I am crossing back over Dobson, going eastbound on Main Street in Mesa, Arizona. Nothing in Tempe that I was able to see. Went all the way to Mill Avenue, where US 80 would have gone north to go over the Mill Avenue Bridge, or Mill Street Bridge, continue there. So nothing so far, but I won't be surprised. There probably will be something here on the eastbound. It makes sense that they'd have them on both sides of the street. All right, I have found number 4. And it is here, of course, Main Street and Vineyard. Look at that. Very cool. All right, so according to legend, there's 5, so I got at least 1 more to find here on Main Street. The original route, Mesa Main Street. That is cool. All right, 1 more, and I'm losing daylight, but that's actually a pretty good thing, because Mesa probably looks better during the dark anyway, especially when all the lights come on, like the Starlight Motel. So I'll probably be driving, I'll be driving by the Starlight Motel again. So definitely looks better at night. I'm back almost to where I started here, and I have not seen another. So it's been a few miles. I have not seen another one of the historic signs, but we still have some time. It may be that there was only 4, but it could be that if there was 5 or more, that they're old signs and they just may not be up anymore. And what sucks is the motel sign isn't on now that, you know, passing by. I did a video on that, and there's, you know, and I did a video on that, so if you haven't seen what that looks like at night, definitely check that out. It's definitely a highlight of Mesa, Arizona. Well, I am actually back as far as the Buckhorn Bass Motel there. So we are at Wrecker. So, you know, not much time left, you know, being here at the Buckhorn again, not much time left. So I'm hoping that if there is a 5th one, that we will be able to see it soon, because the original one that I saw on the other side, that's coming up. That's coming up pretty quick here. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. It might actually be further east than the first one I saw. So hopefully that will work out. Yeah, part of this pointless task, I can't listen to the radio, so I'm not listening to Led Zeppelin, the Days of Confused there, to be able to get this footage. So that's how important this pointless task is for me to do today, to find the 5th one, the 5th historical sign. So hopefully it's there. Okay, so the original one where we started is right there across the street. So if we're going to have a 5th one, it's going to be here on the eastbound side of Main Street. So not too much room left in Mesa, Arizona. So if it's going to be here, it's going to be here really soon. Well, that's going to do it. Unfortunately, I did not find a 5th one. It looks like it's either, because they are old, either there was only 4, or if there was a 5th one, it has since fallen down. So because any further I would be in Apache Junction, and it wouldn't be they might have historical markers there, but not for what I am actually looking for. So I hope you enjoyed this pointless trip down Main Street looking for some historic signs. I am gonna put the Zeppelin on because it's Led Zeppelin.